Hello and welcome to another Beard Clipper video from very sunny Bulgaria, as you can see from my face. This is hobby vlog number 108 and it has been a busy week. It's been a fun week. I've got a lot done, started a couple of new projects. I really rushed on with putting together the little ships from the Aeronautica, whatever it's called, box set. Can't remember the name of it now, because yesterday evening I had a really fun paint and chat with my mate Tim, and we're going to try and get some games over webcam. And so we both got the same box set and we're both assembling and painting them together, which was really good fun to do. So that's taken up a lot of the week, but I've also pushed on with a couple of other projects. So it's been fun. I'm really excited for Christmas as well. I've started my Christmas build, but you're not going to see that until Christmas Eve, so you'll have to wait. That will not appear on any vlog, but I've started that as well, which is really, really exciting for me. But anyway, let's get back to the video, and I really hope that you enjoy it. Do let me know in the comments below. Do drop a comment. I love reading them all. I do reply to them all, so don't be shy. And yeah, enjoy the video. Okay, I've just rolled out some air dry clay with my green stuff rod roller. And what I'm going to do now is stick it on. And as I always say, remember, clay is not adhesive in and of itself. So you need to put glue down. White glue is what I use, as you can see. Otherwise it will not stick to whatever it is you want it to stick to, because it'll just crack off. So yeah, we'll spread that around. Don't need too much. I've put way too much glue out, so I'm just putting it back in the bottle. No point in wasting it. Spread it out nice and evenly, and then what we'll do is we'll start to position the air dry clay where we want it, and then it will go off. Takes a while, maybe a day or two to go off, but after that it's a very quick process, so it doesn't matter. So I have a sculpting tool that I use for cutting my clay, so I'll just get this done. I might put some music on while I'm doing it. The good thing with this, obviously, is it's supposed to be damaged, so I can rationalise any bad cuts or whatever. So yeah, we'll just get this done. I'll put some music on. There you are, that's done. So I'll let that dry now. As I say, it'll take a while, and then we'll come and paint it and get this finished. Quite pleased. Glad to be making some progress. I came just now to paint this, and then I realised that actually I need to put the detailing on first, particularly for this one. So I may have made a mistake on the other one in not having done this before painting the black on, because there's actually quite a lot of gravel that I want to put on. So I'm just using my number 2 gravel, which is not the smallest that I use for sand, and the texture paint that I put on here is the size up from that. And I'm just scattering it on. I'm not going to do anything bigger than that. So you can see just a liberal application of my terrain glue, and then come along with a spoon and put it over the top. Now I'm deliberately not doing the wet application, which would involve alcohol and putting the gravel on first and then spraying alcohol and then using a dropper to put on the glue, because I'm aware of warping, obviously, and that is a technique that you should use only if you're absolutely able to fully clamp to prevent warping. So this is going to have to be sat here until it dries, and then I'm going to come over very carefully tomorrow, because it dries quite quick, and put more PVA, more white glue over the top of the sand to seal it in place. So I'm going to do it the more old-fashioned way that I've always done historically. So I get that done. That will look really nice when it's finished. It's covering up the gaps, looking like a lot more of a ruined kind of like layout. And after that, then paint it black, paint it grey, done. So yeah, I know I said I wasn't going to do another clip, but thought I'd share that. This evening was super detailed work, and I really don't know if this is going to show up, but I'll describe it. So what I've done is I've taken lime green and I've drawn a stripe on every single segment at the bottom of her, where the back of the base is. I think they're kind of like mushrooms that she's growing out of. And then on the front, I've taken the Blood for the Blood God from Games Workshop, and I've painted details in onto each of the tops of the columns and then down the front of the columns. So didn't take long, about 10 minutes, and then I moved on to other projects. But yeah, pretty pleased with how she's looking. I also painted her eyes white. I'm getting close to the end now. I'm going to probably leave her for a couple of days and think about something else, and then come back to her when I've had a bit of a thought and worked out what I'm going to do next. But pretty pleased with how she's coming on, and yeah, hopefully, well, I won't win, but at least I'm going to enter again, which is a surprise. Two months in a row I've managed to get in the Paint All the Minis painting competition. Right, it's time to blow my mind and hopefully not fail completely at making this. So one thing I've noticed is I can't see a way of opening this without cutting the top off. So I'm going to do that as carefully as I can to preserve as much of the artwork as I can. Because, yeah, that's a bit of a shame really. Hopefully that was enough. No, it wasn't enough. That's a bit annoying. So I'm going to have to cut across here to get it open. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, and that means you've cut off stuff. Anyway, grumble while I'm opening this up. Let's pull that out of its little sleeve and have a look and see what we've got. So we have multi-page instruction books. Wow. There we are. Yeah, that's the second page of instructions. We have another page of instructions. Page 3, there we are. So that's page 1. So we've got multiple pages of instructions here. Two A3 sheets of instructions, giving you information on how to put it together with the metal sheets. So please carefully discard the metal sheet after parts have been removed. That's probably good advice because it's probably going to be quite sharp. So it looks on first sight like pretty good instructions, but I'm pretty sure that this is going to be quite hard work. So let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this metal. Let's get that zoomed in a bit. Well, there we are. We have two very fine metal sheets. This looks like part 1. Yes, so if I pull the sheet in here, the instruction sheet, you can see that the parts are numbered. And that is part 1. And that is part 36. And that is part 41. So at least they're relatively easy to identify. And yeah, so it looks like it's relatively well instructed. It looks like it's going to be massively fiddly to put together. So what I'm going to do is get myself set up and just start working through, and I am going to try and film this. This could end up being quite a long video, so apologies in advance if it is. But yeah, it'd be nice to capture the process of doing this. I'll try to record as much as I can, get good footage. So if you're thinking of doing one of these, you can learn from my mistakes, because guaranteed I'm going to make mistakes. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to try and do the first step pretty much straight away. Maybe if I can just do 10-15 minutes a day, I'll get this done pretty quickly. Let's see. Right, let's see how well this works. I don't use the above the desk position very often, but I think it's going to work quite well for this. So we have 2 sprues, and as I've said already, they're detailed quite clearly what the parts are in the instructions, which is good. What I've got scattered around here are the tools that I think I'm going to need. So we've got some snips, and I've got a hobby knife, and I've got wide spatulate tweezers, and also a couple of the fine tweezers. These are so sharp they'll stab you. And then a couple of other needle nose pliers and what have you, and this is the things that it suggests that you have. So the first part, as I've already established, I can't even pick it up, is this circle here. So I need to see where roughly is it attached, and how easy is it for me to get these tweezers in to snip because that's the big issue. Because what I might find I need to do is get snips, might be better. There we are. And get in with them. That's it. So rather than wire cutters, have some side snips. You'll find it a lot easier. So there's your first bit of advice. There we are. So that pops out. And what it says to do is fold it up, and you've got two little tabs. That goes in there. Already destroying it. Try and push it up evenly all the way around, and I bent too fast. There we are. But that tab, it has two tabs and it locks in. Now it's not brilliantly done, but yeah, there we are. So that's that. So the next thing you need is part 2, which is going to slot into the center. So let me find part 2. They're not actually all that. They're not actually very well laid out in terms of logically, unfortunately. But anyway, part 2 is here. So let's get that. I have this feeling that there's going to be quite a lot of me fiddling around trying to pick things up. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab myself a tube of to wrap this around. So this is thin wood. Might actually need some a bit smaller, but at the very least it's going to help me to start. Yeah, I'm going to need a smaller thing to wrap that around. So let me see if I've got something smaller. Right, here we are, very thin bit of plastic tubing. And actually it needs to be even smaller than that, so I might have to do the final bit wild. God, dear, this is fiddly. Wow. 8 minutes to do step 1 and step 2. Wow. Yeah, this could take some time. So part 3 I'm going to do, and then I think I'm going to stop for now because, yeah, this is very hard work actually. I don't know if I'm even going to be able to achieve this, but we're going to give it a go. If I fail, what's the worst? What's the worst that can happen? I've already bought the thing, so where's part 3? Part 3 is on here. Part 3 is there, I think. Yes, that's part 3. So we're going to try and do part 3, and then I think that is going to be me for now, and I'll come back to this another time, and we'll just do a little bit at a time. I think 10-15 minutes a night might actually end up with me having done this by next Christmas. Not this Christmas. These are so fiddly. That is incredible and stupidly fiddly. I need some new normal tweezers, because most of my tweezers are pretty much damaged. It's just ridiculous. I mean, look at how tiny that piece is. Just stupidly tiny. Barely see it. Right, so that's that. And that apparently goes in underneath here. It's not very clear exactly where underneath there it goes. I think it is actually. I think it goes there. So that goes in underneath. My fingers are way too big for this. This feeling this is actually not going to work out very well, and I'm going to end up getting very annoyed and not finishing this project and waiting for the plastic kit to arrive, which is on its way. But this is ridiculous. Absolutely crazy complicated hard. No glue required. I think I'd prefer it if it required glue. There we are. Right, I've done something. I'm not sure if it's very good, but I've done something. There we are. Right, that's enough for now. That's 12 minutes of footage, which I'll probably have sped up quite a lot, so that it's not 12 minutes of you watching me muttering to myself. But yeah, anyway. Onwards. Next step on this, now this is well and dried, is to paint it. Now, I'm going to use the same technique as I did for my previous towel, which is for this little project. That is to paint with black and then come along while it's still wet and rub a load off. Which sounds really stupid and really simplistic, but it actually worked really nicely to get not a too dark finish. So I'm going to paint the whole thing. I'll come back and do all of the other stuff. This is just an undercoat, so I'll come back and do the bomb and put some gravel and other assorted stuff inside the bomb crater afterwards. But for now, yeah, paint it like this, and then get a paper towel, rub it over, and you get a really nice dirty kind of like effect, as you're about to see. So just with a paper towel, just come along and tap it on and dry it off. There we are. Really simple, really effective. I really like the look. So obviously that's going to need to dry more now. But when that's actually dried, it will look really, really cool. And then I'll come along and I will work a little bit more on the plastic elements, which maybe that paint isn't really going to affect, but it shouldn't damage it. So yeah, so then we'll come on to the other elements. So I'll bring you along when I get to that. I'll leave that to dry for a day or so, and then move on to the next step. We're actually nearly done on this. This is a really simple build, but I think it is going to look very nice when it's finished. You can never have too many projects ongoing, can you? And you should always start one before you finish the previous one, because, well, that's just fun. Well, at least that's how I live my life. So we're going to start a new project. The reason why I'm picking this is A, I want to, and B, my very good friend Tim, who I do my painting chats with quite regularly, has picked up a box of Aeronautica Imperialis because we think we might be able to get some remote games going, which would be absolutely brilliant, and I'd love that very much. So it's hex based or square based. So yeah, I need to paint my models up. That is the bottom line, and we are going to actually have to make sure that we have the same models each, so that we can each have the setup and have a camera pointed down, all that stuff for virtual gaming. But the first thing I'm going to do as part of that is have a look and see what's inside the box, get them painted up, and then we'll get some games. And if possible, I will try to film those games and have them on the channel, because I think that could be quite fun. So let's get rid of this nasty single-use plastic and get inside the box. There we are, that's that out the way and thrown away. I hate it. So yeah, inside the box, and as you can tell, I really have literally just opened this, so I haven't looked myself. We have some bubble wrap. That's good. That's good. That keeps it safe. We have some hex bases. Aeronautica Imperialis base. Cool, it's got a dial on the side. That's nice. I really know very little about this game. I blame Zero from Zero's Hobbies for getting me into this. And then we have some sprues. So, Games Workshop 2020. So I've no idea what these sprues are, so I'm going to have to go through. I must admit, I'm very, very excited because I love spaceships. Who doesn't? What boy doesn't? And from what I've seen, these are immediately looking at me like very, very nice little bits of kit. So So we have some sprues, we have some more bases, we have a bunch of stands. So here we are. I may even try to make quite a nice scenic diorama base. What do we have here? We have, oh, just a cardboard. So this must be what we have. We have the Imperial Navy Lightning Strike fighters. We have an Astra Militarum Valkyrie squadron, Tau Aircast Barracuda squadron, and a Tau Aircast Tiger Shark squadron. So that shows me what they're going to look like when they're made and built. We then have the rule book and also some tokens, more tokens. We have the instruction manual. That's pretty cool. I have some starter scenarios. Now that's useful because myself and Tim can play through those and get used to the rules. What else do we have? We have the playmat, which is sealed as well. There's a lot of single-use plastic in this. That's not so good. I don't like that so much. And then we have the transfers, which I am used to using because I'm used to doing scale models. So that's what we get in the box. What I'm going to do, I'm going to read through the rules and then I'm going to start to assemble these. And what I'll probably do is do a video of assembling all of the miniatures and just show how any problems I find or what have you. So if you're thinking of getting into this game, that might be useful. And then I'm going to try and get some games in. So pretty excited about this. Really pleased that there's some starter scenarios, 3 additional scenarios designed for use with the contents of this boxed set. So that's really good. I don't know if Tim has got this box set or not. The instructions here. I'll do a separate video going through that in detail. But yeah, let's get this project on the go. Let's have a look at this Tau Barracuda fighter. So I've got the instructions here. I've worked out which sprue is which. And I've got at the back here, this is the sheet that shows what it's going to look like. I've got my tools. My tools are quite simple. I've got some Tamiya extra thin, which I'm going to try and use. I do prefer to use it for plastic kits, but often I get annoyed and go back to super glue. So we'll see how long that lasts. And I've got some snips, some Xeron snips, and the Citadel hobby knife. So you get 3 ships. And I'm presuming that there are options for guns, which is going to make it interesting because I know nothing about it. So this will be a multi-part video. Hopefully by the time I get to the next bit, I will know a little bit more about it. But I'm just going to go ahead and start working out what goes where, stepping things out and gluing them together. So the first thing, part 1 on the instructions, involves taking the body of the plane, the upper body here, and gluing it to the lower body, which is quite easy. So first of all, we'll just separate this carefully using the snips, and then I can come along with the hobby knife and clean up any sprue marks or what have you that there are. So get that done. I won't go into massive detail about this build past this first little bit because there'll be a lot of repeated steps. But I figure I'll quickly show you how I go about doing this first of all, and then I can just do this over and over again, not on camera, not boring you to tears, for the next steps. So what we're looking at doing is clearing off these leftover sprue bits. One of the issues is knowing what to remove and what not to, and there's a chance I could remove something that I shouldn't, which I've just done already, having looked. Oh no, that's fine, I'm okay. I should be removing those bits. Yeah, so refer to the pictures to find out whether you think you're taking something off that you shouldn't. Yeah, definitely should be taking that off. And you can always say it's battle damage if you get it wrong, so don't stress yourself too much. But yeah, just looking at removing any excess bits of sprue with your sharp knife. Let's cut the next bit off, which is this T-shaped bit in the middle here. Yeah, and I'm looking at the other part, and I can definitely say that the things I just removed on the first piece should definitely have been removed. There is no question in my mind. So I'm a bit more comfortable. So there we are. So we have our two parts. Let's just do the same technique here, just very, very carefully. You'll see that I am cutting towards my finger, but that's because I'm actually not moving very fast. I'm using it to shave. Now, I spent money on a mould line remover, which I've got over there, which I very, very rarely use because a hobby knife is just as useful. There we are. So we've got our two cleaned up parts, and you can see that this fits in there. So let me zoom in a little bit on this. Here we are, we've got our two parts here. What we're going to do is use the Tamiya extra thin. Now I always have it in this Ebma hobby stand because I'm terrified of knocking it over, which I have done once. And the thing with this sort of plastic glue is that you need to, it works via capillary action. So you run it down the gaps, which can be hard if you can't see the gaps, because this actually fits together really, really cleanly. I might find myself going back to super glue anyway after all this. But the way that it works is it actually melts the plastic, and you really should be using something like this for a plastic kit, not super glue. So there we are. First bit glued together. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue on with this build. I will put some music on and stop talking, and you can watch me put it together, and then we'll take it down to the painting bench. You've watched me really struggle with that last bit, and I've realised what it is, and I'm a bit irritated actually. I've not seen this before, but the brush isn't reaching into the glue. It's actually not getting down far enough. Now fortunately I do have, as you would have guessed, I have a spare which I bought, and what I'm going to need to do is put this back to one side, this one to one side, use this one until it gets down until I can't reach it, and then pour that into this, and then I can obviously make use of that, because that is dead waste at the moment, and that is a good third of the bottle, so that's not very good. But anyway, so we've done the first couple of steps. I'm going to continue on for a little bit more now. I've not got that much time now. I'm going to try and get as much done of this as I can. It's going together really nicely, and I do think that the Tamiya is the right thing to do. If I was actually getting any glue on my brush, that would have been much easier. You saw the last bit went on perfectly because I actually swirled it around and picked some glue up, but I'm not doing that all the time, so I'll make use of this and then combine them when I need to. So we'll move on to finish off step 3, move on to step 4, and probably that's where I'll stop. So I'll probably go to step 4, which is a couple more bits and pieces. So I'll put some music back on again now. Yeah, I'm enjoying this a lot actually, really enjoying it. I'm really glad I bought this, and I really can't wait to get a game. So let's get on with putting it together, and then I can get it painted and play with it. So I've assembled the other two models, as you can see here. This is the one that I've been doing on camera. Just quickly assembled those. Took me a couple of minutes, not very long. It's very, very easy actually once you know what you're doing. And what I've got to now is step 4 and 5. Now this is where the options come in for the guns. So I've had a little bit of a look, and what you have is you have a central gun port, which is here just underneath the nose. And then you can put different guns on the onto these rotating turrets, which do rotate, honest. that's not been done very well. I might need to take that apart and do that again. But yeah, so you have separate guns on there. So there looks like there's 2 options for the central gun and 2 options for each of the side one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one ship. I'm going to do one ship with each, and then I might leave one ship and try to make it swappable and see whether I can work that out. So so I'm going to have a bit of a play, but basically what you're doing is for option 4 you can either glue part 14 and 15 together or just have part 16 with no glues, and for the option 11 on the turrets you can have 11 or 12. So it's a pretty simple thing. So we're pretty much done here. So what I'm going to do is get that done, get the armaments in place, and then we'll have a look at painting. And if I do manage to make the armament swappable, I'll let you know how I do it, but it might not happen, so we shall see. So anyway, yeah, pretty pleased. Quite an easy build at the end of it. Pretty happy with how it's come out, and yeah, I'll bring you back probably next time we'll be painting. Well, there they are. The first ones are done. That is the Tau Barracuda fighter. So what I'm going to do now is go and prime them and paint them, and I will bring them back when they're done. I'm probably not going to do the filming of the painting, but I might do a little bit of a review of what paints I used, but I'm going to get them primed up now and then painted over the weekend, because I'm doing a paint and chat with my mate who has also bought the same box set. We're going to paint the same miniatures together. It's going to be really good fun. So yeah, that's the Tau Barracuda fighter painted, and I'll tell you what colours I use and what have you. So they went together very easily, very well. Nice models. Really like them. So yeah, pretty cool. Alright, this is done now. So let's get the knife and cut it out of the cardboard, and then the whole thing's completed, which is really cool. And like I say, I actually think I prefer it. So happy accidents and all that. There we are. Wasn't too hard at all. Good, nice new sharp blade. I bought some new knives because they were on sale in Lidl. So yeah, pretty happy with that. And I think that will look really nice as a central piece on an ASoIAF board. And yeah, it's not warped anymore, so that's always a success. So yeah, brilliant. I'm really pleased that I saved that. And this is proven to be annoying, but I'm going to carry on with it, though I might give up if the other ordered part arrives. So it's the next day, and I'm going to attempt to do a little bit more, because if I don't do it, then it definitely won't get done, will it? So I just need to do it. So this is part 6 that I'm about to do. I'll probably put some music on while I'm working on this. So you have part 6 and 5 and 4, and they all kind of like bend together to turn into some kind of a assembly that goes on top of that. So here is part 6 there, and then parts 5 and 4 are around it. Okay, they're relatively near, that's good. So 5 is that one there, I think. 5 there, and 4 is on the other sprue usefully. Yeah, it's a bit rubbish this actually. I'm quite disappointed. They've not really they've not numbered it in any sensible way, because I believe that's 4 there. There we are. Right, so I'll get the cut out and bent and put in place. That's probably all I managed to do in this session. So let's get cracking. If I finish this it will be a testament to the fact that I'm far more patient than I ever was when I was younger. This is absolutely ridiculous. Like, beyond all nonsense fiddliness. Probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my hobby career so far. As in ridiculous. But if I get it done, I'll be very pleased with myself. And if I don't get it done, then I'll just shrug and move on. I think I might have sworn once or twice during doing that just now, but not as much as you might have thought. Mainly lots of sighing and huffing and puffing. Well, I might finally got a grip on this. No, that didn't work. Yeah, this is just stupid. Honestly, I'd rather put glue on this than have to try and do all this bending. It's such delicate metal that it's almost impossible to only bend the bit you're trying to bend. This is going to break. Anyway, here we are. We have a... I've got to step 7. We do this for fun, you know. So that's them done, the lightning fighters. They were relatively easy to do until I got to those missiles under the wings. That was a real pain. And for the other two I did off camera, I actually put the missiles on before I stuck the wings in place, which actually worked a little bit better because it was really, really fiddly. Whatever you were doing, it was fiddly. But they look wicked. They're going to go and get primed now, and I'll obviously as well come and show you what that's done. When that's done, tell you the colours. So yeah, they were pretty easy to put together apart from those missiles. Those missiles were a real fiddly nightmare. This is quite an unexpected segment, and I'm really quite touched, to be honest. So let me explain what this is. When Rosie was sick, one of the guys from the Discords I'm in, a guy called Brewtus from Brewtus Hobbies, he said he was going to send a gift for Rosie, which is just wonderful, and what a lovely thought. He was just concerned for her and wanted her to have something nice when she came out of hospital. So we did a tie-dye shirt for her, put it in a box, and said he'd put a couple of little other bits and pieces in there. Now, yeah, the other bits and pieces, one of them was a Care Bear for Rosie, which she loves. She's been cuddling it all day. But also in the box were these Hot Wheels. This is the Ghostbusters special Hot Wheels. I had no idea. He asked me if I like Ghostbusters. I was like, yeah, well, yes, I do. I had no idea what it was. And yeah, this is what he sent. And I'm just so touched. I mean, what a wonderful, lovely gesture, and thank you so much, Brewtus. I've said thank you directly, and I just wanted to also show this off on the vlog, because yes, there's a lot of bad in the world, there's a lot of negative in the world, there's a lot of horrible things in the world, and there's also a lot of this in the world, and that's what makes things really mean something. That's what real people are. So yeah, you've made my daughter happy, which is just, you know how much that means to me. And yeah, so for that alone, thank you. And then on top of that, for this, just what a star. So thank you so much. You've really put a smile on my face. You put a smile on my daughter's face and on Angela's face, and we're just blown away by your generosity and your thoughtfulness, your lovely card. Thank you. Bottom of my heart, thank you. There we are, that's them made. Pretty pleased with how they came out. They ended up being quite easy, actually easier than the second one I built. So that's the Tau Tiger Shark Fighter Bomber. I've done some alternatives on the weapons. There's actually more options for weapons than you have ships. Which is a bit of a shame, so I haven't been able to do everything. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with those. So they're going to go now to be primed and painted, and I'll obviously tell you how I do that and show you those when they're finished. But that means that after this one, I've got one more to do, and I'll get that done next. Next part of this super simple build, I've painted this in some random army green, is to put a little bit of paint and a little bit of sand into the dip, which has been caused by the crater. So I'm going to put some of my terrain paint, which is watered down house paint mixed with PVA. Going to put that in here and just cover up all of the grey. Sorry, my hand's getting in the way. And then I have some sifted sand, which is again just normal builder's sand, it's nothing special. So let me zoom out a bit. There we are. I've got the builder's sand in this bucket here, and it is as simple as taking the sand, pouring it on like that. There we are. And then shaking it off. And there we are. We have a textured area for around the base of the bomb. So I will let that dry and then probably come along with the same paint and give it a bit more colour. I might go for a redder colour, I'm not sure, but that's going to be good to hold it in place. That will go off and dry very quickly. And once it's all securely attached, I can then come and put a different colour on it. So I'll bring you back for that. But yeah, very basic build this, nearly finished, which is really cool. Nice, arrived nice and quickly, and unusually it was brought to my door. Normally I have to go into town to get my Games Workshop orders, but this is a Games Workshop order. So let me get rid of all this packing material and I'll read out to you what it is. So we have a Khandish Warriors box. There. We have the Khandish King in Chariot. We have 2 Khandish Charioteers. 3 Khandish Charioteers, apologies. And we have 3 Khandish Horsemen, 3 packs of Khandish Horsemen. So this is a new army that I'm going to try to paint up actually as quickly as possible. And I say that, and I probably won't, but I really want this army to be done for a couple of reasons. One, I have left the Guardians hobby bingo for too long, and I need to get back to it. And also, I love Easterlings, and the Khand is the only army I didn't have, so this is going to work really well. The other thing that I ordered was some more contrast paints, because I've been kind of enjoying the contrast paints that I've been using, and I figured that I would pick up a couple more and add them to my paint pile. So there we are. So I will be doing these soon. I will do a video on these, definitely, not necessarily a very detailed one, but I'll definitely do a video on how I go about painting each of these models, and then yeah, I'll have another army for Hobbit, which will be really good fun. So yeah, thank you very much Games Workshop for getting that to me so quickly. I have another order on the way. They're made to order. That should be with me in the next week or so. I've had the shipping notification, so that might be here next week. But yeah, this might be done hopefully by Christmas is my plan. I want to have this done for Christmas. So yeah, let's see whether I achieve that. Well, that bit just went pyoing, and I've just spent about 5-10 minutes on my hands and knees sweeping the floor looking for it, and I've gone, oh well, never mind. I've sat back down on my bench to carry on, and look what I've found. It landed right there on the edge, didn't even go on the floor. So, oh dear. Making model kits. It's all good fun, but at least my floor's a bit cleaner. So onwards and onwards. I'm enjoying this build. That's delayed me a bit, slowed me down, but at least I found it. So yeah, so I can glue that back on, carry on. I'm not far off finished. So yeah, let's get the music back on and continue with this build. There we are. That's them done. They're quite fun to build. I've done 2 variants. When I'm playing this game, I'm not going to be looking at the actual loadouts and WYSIWYG or whatever. I'm not clever enough to keep in mind what everything is. What I'm going to do is colour code I'm going to put colours on each of the different planes, and then that means that I can say, well, this colour has this and this colour has that, because A, I'm not going to buy thousands of miniatures and just like do so I've got all the different options and alternatives, and B, I'm just not going to be able to remember. So just to say that I have done different fit outs just because of the rule of cool, and I will be doing that colour coding. So talking about the colour coding, what I'm now going to do is go and prime this, and I'll bring it back and we'll wrap the video up with it painted, and I'll tell you what colours I used. So I'm going to go and prime it and get these painted, and when that's done I'll be back to finish the video. That sand's dried now, and I've decided to come in with my redder kind of reddy brown paint, mainly to just do a little bit of contrast. It's a very monotone piece, this, and so having a slightly different dirt is good. So I'll just paint that on. That will act both to add the colour, obviously, but it will also seal the sand in so that it doesn't ever come loose. So there we are. So when that's dried, what we'll look at doing is adding in the smoke, and then the project is complete. I've finally managed to get a little bit more time on this, and I've spray painted up some hollow fill, as you can see, and tried to make it so that it would fit in okay. I am going to do more. This is my first attempt. I think I need to get more grey in it, certainly for over here, but blue with grey for over here. This is looking quite nice in this area. I'm going to fill up most of the base, I think, with this, and I'm certainly going to build up the sides, and it might mean that I have to put some more metal in that I can then slot the hollow fill up. But yeah, it's a really good start. I'm really pleased with how that's looking, and it's going to work really, really well and hide a lot of these wires, obviously, and I think probably it will end up being glued down with contact adhesive, so I'll be putting some spray and pressing it in, and then it'll just be enough, because it's only it's not going to be handled very much, so long as it doesn't like blow away, then that's fine. So yeah, so I'm going to spray some more. This is two different colours of blue, like a turquoise and a sky blue, and then grey and black, and I'm just using aerosols for this. So I'll probably end up doing a load more, like I say, get that all stuck in place. I'll bring you along, I'll film again when I've got enough quantity of the holofill, and when I've potentially worked out exactly where it's all going to go. Like I say, I think I might need to put another couple of bits of wire just along the sides here, just so that I can build a nice big kind of, the cloud that's in the backdrop here could be coming forwards and down there. So yeah, I might have to do that. I'll bring you along when I've done that, show you what it looks like, and then we'll get to gluing, and then we're pretty much entering the home straight and finishing up, which is really exciting. I can't wait to see this. So hopefully I'll have this done in the next few days if I manage to get time. Well, there we are. Against all the odds, I managed to get that to less than an hour long. The source footage, including all of that speeded up, was well past 2 hours, and I was looking at going, oh dear, we're back to a classic. But under an hour, pretty good. So I had a lot of fun putting those Aeronautica, can't remember the name again. I can never remember the name of that game. Had a lot of fun putting them together. We had a lot of fun last night painting them as well. So that'll be back in the next vlog, probably, hopefully fully painted. I'm going to do them in my 20 minutes in the evenings. So follow me on my Instagram if you want to see that. And yeah, I really want to reinforce as well, the packet that Brewtus sent me was just out of this world, and that just shows that there are awesome people out there, and yeah, just brilliant. What a wonderful thing, and what a wonderful thing to do for my daughter and for me. So thank you so much again. Watching that footage just brought it all back. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I will wrap this up now, and I will please implore you to stay well, stay healthy, and stay safe.